Alright, so hi everyone. This would be our first tutorial on how to model things, but firstly I want to show you what I have come up with. So you can see here that I have my modeling, my workspace set up to look a bit different. You can know how to do this by actually opening up Moodle. It's from the first tutorial that we did in the lab. Alright, so it's this one here. So if you can click that, you can go through the tutorial by that French guy and you can come up with some quite useful stuff that can help you in your modeling process. First thing is my custom shelf that you can create. So based on what he kind of outlined, and some of them are useful, perhaps some of them are not. I'll just try to demonstrate what I think is useful. So if you were to click that one, you get a cube. Let's just increase the subdivision, say make it 2 there, let's make it 3. Right, so if I were to go to face and select all these faces, perhaps created some nifty shortcuts here, so you can actually detach the component and move it out. I also have, while I'm doing this, I will use a lot of the hotkeys on my keyboard, so I kind of set a hotkey that sits next to the number 1 on my keyboard, and what that allows me to do is it goes to object mode straight away. So that can be quite useful to, rather than right mouse button and having to choose object mode. So you can quickly, say you're from face and you're selecting things like just now. I detach this and then I press that shortcut, I straight away go to this selection mode and I can move it straight away. What else? So this kind of detaches the mesh but keeps it still under the same mesh. You might find at times you want to totally create a new object out of it. This is good. Extract allows you to do that, but with the extract on this one, it's a bit different. Now if you try to do the same thing, okay, say I'm gonna press that shortcut of mine, right mouse button, face, and I'll select that. Notice that there are 2 objects now. Say I select that, and if I use extract not on this one but the one that is here, it will actually extract, but what it happens is it goes into it gives you all these transformation tools, much like how you would get from extruding. So you have to kind of exit this by pressing Q and then select it again and I use my shortcut, and then only then can you move it. So that's a lot of steps. If you open this up and go to the script, you'll see that it's a whole list of scripts that allows you to do something very simple, like you like I showed you earlier. Like, so there is a bug in there, or rather you gotta know how to use the script. Like, if you do that, it's still working, and I have a feeling it's something to do with name. Oh, well, if it doesn't work, you know what you do? Just select that. You have freeze transformations and delete history, so I'm gonna delete both of that, and then let's give it a try. Face, hopefully it works. It doesn't work. More than one object matches. Name. Alright, tell you what, select everyone, delete the history, freeze the transformations. Does it work on this guy? It does. Undo that. Does it work on this guy? It does. So I guess, I don't know, when things don't go the way you want. Oh, it's a double face. That might be the, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Something happened there. Alright, you gotta be careful with the script. So that's all I'm saying. You can choose to use it. You can choose to do the old way of extracting manually if you need to extract faces. It's up to you. I'm not gonna say one is right. If you run into problems, know how to kind of work with the script so that it works. Anyway, so I have like a bunch of stuff here. They're quite useful for things. I'm gonna show you what I have on my keyboard instead. I kind of created hotkeys. To do that, you need to go to Windows Setting Preferences, Hotkey Editor. I have a hotkey for my hotkey editor, so it's O. So if I click that, you'll see that this is the hotkey editor. And by default, if you start to change things, say you're trying to, I don't know, get the graph editor, and you assign a key here, it will kind of connect to this hotkey set. So by default, you have Maya default, and if you start to change things here, it'll create a new one called Maya default duplicate, and so all of your new hotkeys belong to that new one. I kind of created a new one by basically duplicating that and rename it, and I have a whole set of things here, and I'll kind of go through one by one. Of course, I kind of showed you the first one, which is alternate 1. Brings up the outliner. It's quite useful. I need the outliner from time to time. I also have things like I kind of assign alternate with all sorts of things. So alternate C gives me this mesh connect, which is somewhere in here. That's it, mesh connect, and I will kind of select that. And when you select it, you have all these edge loops in green. Using the middle mouse button, letting go of alternate C, which is my shortcut hotkey for connect. Using the middle mouse button, you can drag and you can add more edge loops as you go along. So it's a really fast way to model, and you can exit by pressing Q. Then if you decide to, I don't know, do something like that. And I have another hotkey, which is extrude. I know extrude is Control E, but I change it to alternate E because I don't want to move my thumb away from alternate a lot. Alternate is used to kind of tumble around and move around the scene and zoom in, zoom out. So why not just keep it all alternate? So alternate is my extrude. So I press alternate E. I could very quickly do something like that. So you have like a, I don't know, like a grill or something. What else? I also have, so I'm gonna press alternate E here and kind of bring it down. Oopsie. Like that. Press my hotkey that goes to object mode. Tell you what, I'm gonna use one of this mirroring stuff. Maybe I'll just change the pivot. So I press D, it goes to change pivot mode. Enable that arrow and hold C and kind of make it snap there. Press D again to exit. You can mirror, so I press that. There it is. I was looking for that. Right, so let's just change the direction to, I don't know, Z, and change the offset. Okay, cool. That's what I want. To flip the other way. Know which axis you're mirroring it. I'm trying to make it go into Z and kind of give it a bit of a distance so that I can do my next thing. So I press Q to exit. I wanted to kind of select this, and I have a hotkey which is alternate B that bridges meshes, so I can do that very quickly. Alternate B is from my bridge. Let's just go along with this and see So I'm gonna press alternate C. That brings up my connect tool. So I click on an edge and I'll say I want that much. Press Q to commit, and then I'll go to alternate C again. I'll do the same thing, probably less. So it's just a edge loop in the middle there. Oopsie, that didn't work. Can I end it? Better not. Okay, so I'll alternate C again. There you go. Press Q. Right, cool. Right, so you're trying to do, I'm gonna select that face and I'm gonna delete it. There are times where you find that you need to merge vertices. So I go to vertex and I kind of select those. You know, sometimes you go like, I'm not sure if you used this before, but there's the merge to center. So I have a hotkey for that, which is alternate G. So I press alternate G, it'll merge things. So that can be useful sometimes. I'm not sure when, but you know, not in this example perhaps, but you know, that allows me to do that very quickly. Alright. What else do I have? I also have a shortcut for my multi-cut tool, which is, you know, that one. And it's also, okay, my mouse is acting up. Okay, it's also this one here, multi-cut. So if I choose alternate X, I can quickly go into my multi-cut to the press enter if you want to commit that, or Q. Again, alternate X and just connect things here, here. If you find that it's useful for your modeling purposes. Right, what else do I have? Let's see. Kind of show you that transform. Oh yeah, that's kind of useful. You know how when you select faces and then you alternate E or you extrude and kind of do this and that, you have all these manipulators and that can be quite good. But what if you exit the tool and you don't have it no more? I mean, yeah, you can kind of do that, but it doesn't give you the same thing. So I have a shortcut for transform, which is alternate R. So it gives you that same kind of manipulator, and you might find that, you know, it can be useful for some things. You know, if you want to do that. Yeah. What else? I do have a shortcut for alternate W, which is target well. Yes. So target well is useful for a lot of things. Say you have a hole like that, and you need to target well, which is that guy. So I press alternate W, and if I do that, it will kind of well those faces. So it's just, you know, doing kind of like the same thing, like merge to center, but this one is more control. So, you know, you can keep on target well if you want. And that's about it. Of course you can keep on creating new ones, and to do that you just go to hotkey editor. Make sure you rename that or duplicate that and rename it properly, and say there's a command that you find useful, like, not sure, what do you need, like hypergraph falls under Windows, hypergraph hierarchy, So you say you want to set that as alternate 2, make sure you save it, and I'll save and close. Whenever you press alternate 2, it brings up the hypergraph. So that's basically how you set. So you can even set, like I mentioned earlier, even for the hotkey window itself, I press O, I get the hotkey editor, so I can change it accordingly whenever I need it. It's also good if you have modeling toolkit on. If you find it a hassle to create all this, you can always switch on the modeling toolkit, make sure that is highlighted, and it allows you to go from, you know, vertex selection, edge selection, face selection, or if you find multi is good, so you can jump from, you know, vertex to edge to faces on the fly, wherever, depending on wherever you hover your cursor. And last thing before we go, you'll see that as you do more modeling stuff, there's tons of history here. So I have a shortcut that kind of deletes all the history like I showed you earlier. So I can press that and it deletes all of the history, making my mesh much more lighter and easier to work with. If you kind of move it a lot too much and you kind of do all sorts of transformations like that, and you kind of end up with this shape, and you say, okay, this is my final shape, I want it to zero out, I don't want all these numbers. You have freeze transformations and it'll zero out everything. That can be useful. Well, I also have this, which I find is quite useful. Let me see, say I have that guy and I want it to be, you know, kind of move to that guy's place. So I select both of them and do that, and it'll stay there. So that can be useful as well. Sorry, select that guy, do that. Well, it's all up to you, and therefore I do suggest that you go through the lab tutorial 1 videos. I got it off Gumroad. It really helps to explain to you the whole thing with Maya hotkeys and how to customize your preferences. So please do look into it, and best of luck. See you in the next video. Thanks.